Hello, it's Lou Collins. Today I've got a sketch video for you. So this is taking a sketch, which is a very common tool amongst paper crafters, to give them inspiration or a little bit of a mojo kick to get you started with a card, or it could be something like a scrapbook page as well. It doesn't have to be cards. So this one came from Simply Cards and Papercraft, issue 237. I'm going to adapt it quite a lot this week actually, because this for me is quite full on. There's a lot going on there, a lot to look at, so I like to often simplify things a bit more, but I really like that you've got a nice big feature and it's down in one corner, not slap bang in the middle. So you have the potential to create white space up around this corner. Excuse me, I've got something wet on my mat, so there's a wet template, but never mind, it's only to look at. And then you've got the smaller areas as well. Now these of course could be scattered anywhere you want. So one thing I am going to use though, and this is because I really am very fond of this, is the book club. This is a collection of papers and die cut toppers and such that actually came within Papercraft Essentials. So this is issue 214. So I'm kind of mixing my magazines here with the sketch from Simply Cards and Papercraft, and then the kind of the freebie as such from this Papercraft Essentials magazine. I've used it before in videos as well, but I've still got lots left, so I want to use this. So delving in here, you'll see there's lots of elements. The first thing I need to do is start with my card base, and I'm not going for square. I do love a square card, it's one of my favourites, but for this one I'm going to just throw caution to the wind as such, and I'm going to do a slightly different card base. Now I need to look first of all at my back layers. I tend to work from the back forward. So we've got this panel right, so a slightly smaller square that's matted right behind everything with a slight border. Now we've got lots of options for this. Oh, that's lovely. That is a really pretty paper, that one, and it's got a typewriter on it, so I'll make, oh, there's two sheets here, even better. So possibly that. Now I choose my backing. Then I'm looking through and I'm seeing, oh, there's a teal one as well though, and I really do love teal, but I'm going to stick with that one for now, and then have a look at my options for the next pieces. So we have lots of die cut elements here, lots of funny sentiments as well actually. So I'm obviously going to be going with the kind of the purple-ish elements. So we've got these two tabs here, and I'm thinking I might actually switch those up for tags, because we've got some tag shapes here. We've got lots actually, but then we've got the books. So I'm going to have, oh no, these are perfect. Look at these. This would make a wonderful gift, wouldn't it, if these were removable. I think I might do that. So if the bookmarks that are here fell asleep here, I like that. I'd rather stay home and read just one more chapter. That's always me. I'll just read one more page or one more chapter, and then I just carry on. So just one more chapter. Happiness is coffee in a good book. I think I might use that one because we've got the pink flowers in this one. So just popping these out. They're all die cut and they're foiled as well. So these elements are kind of my two rectangles here. Okay, now I'm going to tuck those in behind a little bit of a pocket here. Can you see that? We've got a funny sort of triangular shape here. Now I'm going to create a pocket. Let's use this paper. In fact, I've got a scrap here. No, it's not quite long enough. This is because I've used this before. That works really nicely, those colours. And then I will need a topper. I could come to the topper afterwards. Just one more chapter. Oh, what's this under here? I think we've got about, oh, look at these tassels as well. They're beautiful. I hadn't seen those before, I don't think. I might have done. I've just forgotten that they're there. Let me see. While I'm working on this, working my way up, what is my sentiment going to be? I've got these here. I've got these. Oh, look. Curl up with a good book. That would be perfect. It's almost saying to someone it's your birthday, curl up with a good book. Here's your bookmarks as well. I've got the ribbon, oh no, I can put the tassels of course through the bookmarks to really make them into a lovely gift. Okay, I think I've got the basis for a card now. So let's start putting this together. I'll add some embellishments afterwards. The first thing I need to do is cut down my paper to size. So I'm going to keep the typewriter on in view. That's my favourite part of all of this paper. I'm just going to mark with a pencil where I need to cut. I do it by eye, I don't measure it, but you could measure it so it's, say, I don't know, say 5mm smaller than your card base if you prefer to be exact. But don't worry, I never have, and no one's ever picked me up on it and said that doesn't look quite even. So I think we have other things to stress about more than measuring paper for cards. There we go, see, that just sits lovely on there. These are going to be removable. Let's just put my trimmer out of the way for a moment. These are going to be removable. Now there's little holes in here, we just need to pop these out. And the best way to add your tassels would be if you pinch the string at the top, so you've got a little loop, put the little loop through from the back to the front, and then feed the tassel through that loop once it's through the bookmark, and pull it tight. There we go, so we've got one. And then do exactly the same with the other one. Pop that away, make sure it's not caught on the back. These are lovely because they're foiled, it really gives them a feel of luxury to them as well. And I do like a card that kind of has something detachable, something that's a gift, so it's more than just a card that they'll keep for a couple of weeks and then either recycle or go and store somewhere. Of course, handmade cards are probably stored more than thrown away, but you never know, people don't always have the space to keep them too long. So there we go, so they're going to be my bookmarks. So let's glue this one down first. I'm just going to use a wet glue for that. And this is a nice thin paper, so it's not going to make the card too heavy. I just think my glue's dried up there, so let's, yeah, I need to get in and unplug that, don't I? There you go. Crafting doesn't always go perfectly. I've got another glue here, a smaller one that had a pin in. So hopefully, despite it has got very hot in here lately, I don't know about you, but the heating's just come on here. So we're at the beginning of December, just started putting the heating on, probably more than I should. And yeah, glues start drying up, whereas they weren't a few weeks ago. It starts drying the air out as well. And there we go. Okay, so now I need to create that kind of pocket that I was talking about to hold the bookmarks in. So I'm going to do that from this paper. Now rather than have this diagonal edge, I think I'm going to have a torn edge. If you tear upwards, you'll get the white edge. Just experiment with which way you need to tear your paper to get the kind of edge that you're looking for, whether it's showing white or not. Let's just trim this down. Again, I'm going to do it by eye. Let's trim it down about that size and see how it looks, the width of it. It's not too bad actually, that's not too bad. Now for these to fit in, whereabouts would this need to be? It's going to need to be quite near the bottom, isn't it? So there we go. So now place that, make sure happy with the fit, and just pop that on. Now if you've got time, you could hand stitch or machine stitch this paper down. I'm not going to do that because you don't want to watch me get my sewing machine out. Oh, I did that a little bit off, so I'm just going to do it slightly more. There we go. So this, just line up whereabouts I want that to sit. Yeah. And all I'm going to do for the glue is add a line along this short edge, just along there, along the bottom edge, and most of the way up the torn edge, but not all the way, and place that about there. I think while that glue's drying, I don't want to interfere with it too much while it's drying, I want to leave it, but I think I might take a pen. Let's see if I can find my white gel pen. There you go. And oops, throwing it around. And I'm just going to add some faux stitching to this, just little details while that glue's drying. It's not going to interfere with it too much. And like I say, if you I'll just do this along the bottom and one side. But if you like stitching, definitely look into machine stitching on your projects. I love doing it. It does mean getting my machine out if it's not already out to hand, but it gives a lovely effect and a bit more texture. So let's just slide these bookmarks in. very carefully, because of course that's still drying, and wait till it just sort of stops there. Tassels will fall where the tassels fall. It doesn't really matter too much where they fall. They're going to be quite natural. And then I've got my curl up with a good book. There we go. I'm going to put this on with some foam, I think, just to raise it up slightly. I've got my thin foam. I haven't got my thick one to hand, but this will be fine. There's actually some ribbon as well within the pack that you could add, but because I'm keeping to the purple and the teal colours here, I just realised I've actually covered over the typewriter, but never mind. I'm sticking to the teal and the purple colours, lilac colours, so I don't want to add in the peachy colour as well. So that can go just there. And then the last thing we've got to do, because we've kind of got all the elements there, is the little embellishments. Now these could be anything. They could be die cut pieces, or they could be otherwise little bits that you cut out yourself. So there's some here. See, there's a typewriter. Do you know what? I do want the typewriter. As I've covered up the other one, I'm going to cut this out. So just by hand, it's got a nice line around it, so you can follow with a slight gap between it, so you don't accidentally cut into the design. So I love that. I don't know what it is about typewriters. I don't know about anyone else, but typewriters are just one of my favourite things, especially vintage ones. Well, I say that they're all vintage now, really, aren't they? We don't get many of them anymore. So there's a typewriter there, and we don't have to do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 elements here that you could use. You don't have to use that many if you don't want to, of course. What else have we got? Do you know what? I think we just need a good stack of books, don't we? Oh, that's pretty as well. This is really pretty. Let's do this. So there's a pile of letters and books here with a little bit of gypsophilia or baby's breath around it. Really pretty, very delicate. So I think that might sit nicely just over there. Let's get around this because it's got the white border again. It's nice and easy to trim away. I think that will sit. Oh, is that a bit too much? It might be a bit too heavy. I don't know. No, I think that's a bit too heavy. Let's pop that back. Let's rethink that. That's fine. There is a little. Oh, there's a little clock. This will work. There's a little clock here, and it's in the same teal as the colour of the tassels. So let's go round and just cut this one out. I've now cut out the envelopes and such, so I can use those on another project. Just keep them in with this pack so I know everything coordinates. There we go. And we're saying take time for yourself with the clock there. Lovely. So I will sort all that out, tidy that up in a moment. I've got my little scraps and I want to keep those as well. These bits I'm going to apply with foam tape just to make sure that they are raised up as well as the sentiment. With the typewriter I'm also covering over a little ribbon hole there. I don't feel I need that. A little bit of tape here. There we go, and pop that. Perfect. Okay, happy with that. Now I think my glue should have dried, so these are free to take out and move around as you wish. But there's a card that is a lovely gift with 2 bookmarks in there, all coordinating with that little pocket, but following the sketch that's available on Craftworld for you to download, save to your computer and have a look at. So try this out, try the sketch out. I'd love to see other designs of it, your take on it, and share with us what you make over in the Inspiration Gallery.